when you're having Trump on.
Did you come on this podcast specifically to try to get me to interview Trump?
No, don't go live with this podcast. And keep it until after you do Trump's interview.
I would like to know, what is it like when you actually get into office? I would like to know things like, what is it like versus perception?
Yeah.
What is it actually like when you get in that building? When do you know that people are fucking with you? When do you know that the intelligence agency is lying to you? What's the machine like? What is the deep state really like?
I'm really looking forward to seeing you and Trump together.
You keep pushing that.
I think, okay, I'll tell you from my perspective, like, on why you ought to consider it when you do it. I'll just give you my,
okay.
Just so you know, he and I don't speak, it's not something that is like, hey, his camp saying go in there and do this and do that. No, I've never interviewed the guy. So it's not like I'm, lobbying for it. He's a guy that's probably the most misunderstood by a side. And a guy that
how do you think he's misunderstood? In what way?
I think the media has really painted this guy to be evil. I like to talk to people I fully disagree with, and I think they're delusional in certain areas to understand, like, what makes you believe what you just said.
Right.
Like, I don't understand what you just said.
Right.
Tell me how you could be that convinced you're right. Right.
Right.
Cenk was on the podcast yesterday, and Cenk is convinced he's a better businessman than Trump. I mean, how could you say something? But he's convinced. And he says, no, he's a loser. Trump's a loser. I said, dude, what do you mean there's only two things he's won in his life? I said, there's only two things he's won in his life? Yes. Yeah, there's only two things he's ever won in his life. And this is the second time Cenk and I having a conversation together. Politically, we're on very different sides. I'm just trying to find out, why do you think this way, right? And he says, yeah, only two things. He's a great marketer, and he did this. I said, first of all, 15 years. Apprentice. Good luck. Go do. No, he had great producers. I don't care if you have the greatest producers in the world. You can hire any producers Joe has and go try to match Joe's numbers with podcasts. Yeah, because it's his producers. No, it's a lot of work. 15 years. Book. How many years does Art of the Deal does? Well, yeah, but Pat, imagine if you started with $430 million. You would have been richer than him today. I said, $430 million. What's this $430 million? He got $430 million. Are you like counting in today's money versus, well, it's estimated this. Okay, he got $1 million, he got $14 million, no problem. He got family money. I'm willing to make the case that you are more likely to screw up your life if your family gives you money. Let's just say he did get the money and he still doesn't do drugs and he doesn't do alcohol and his vice is women and he works his ass off in business and he makes it where he makes it to. Yeah, it's very easy to make the argument that actually if you do come with money, it's a harder life than a person that doesn't get money, to have that drive and ambition. Not necessarily it's a harder life to have that fire, the ambition that, you can't teach that. You either got it or you don't have it, right? Okay. So then we go into politics. So let me get this straight. This guy wins in New York. He becomes a billionaire. He wins on TV. He's won with women. He's partied with everybody. In 1988, he's doing an interview with Oprah Winfrey, and Oprah Winfrey says, hey, you sound like you're going to run for office. No, I have no interest, but if I ever did, I'd win. Okay. Then he runs. Everybody thinks it's just a marketing deal that he's doing. And then when he wins, I don't know if you remember when he walked on, he's like, even him himself, they were kind of like surprised, babe, we just won.
Right.
And the day before, the odds were if you bet $100, you'd have to bet $350 to win $100 on Hillary. But if you bet $100, I think you win $550 with Trump or some number like that. The underdog won, the greatest underdog of all time of politics, right? Okay.